Councilmember Newton? Councilmember Hoffman?
Here.
Councilmember Grummeyer?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bash?
Here.
Mayor Hanna?
Here.
All present, thank you.
Okay, we'll allow the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Greg Newton. Next item is this is the time when persons in the audience wishing to not on the agenda may speak. The city clerk, so that you may be recognized. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the City Council's ability to respond to comments on non-agendized matters at this time. Such to any general public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments?
We have no public comment.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, City Council discussion items. Order of presentations for discussion items. Staff report presentation. Speakers in favor, against, neutral. Number 4 is council discussion and action. So item A is ratification of and termination of the local emergency. This is presented by the Deputy City Attorney.
I think I'll make the presentation, Mr. Mayor. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, this is a recommendation for the City Council to adopt resolution number 2020-48, ratifying proclamation of local emergency issued in response to civil unrest in the city of Norco. It is also recommended that the City Council adopt resolution number 2020-49, terminating proclamation of the local emergency. As you know, as a result of civil unrest here in the city of Norco last week, the Riverside County Sheriff requested the proclamation of local emergency and imposition of a curfew. Consistent with state laws and the provisions of the Norco Municipal Code, the city manager acting as the Director of Emergency Services for the city of Norco issued a proclamation of emergency and imposed curfew on June 30, 2020. These actions were necessary to protect public safety and property throughout the city of Norco. With the proclamation of the local emergency, the police chief was able to secure all the necessary police resources to control the civil unrest. On July 2nd, 2020, the police chief reported back that the civil unrest has been abated and therefore the curfew was canceled by the city manager. The situation currently remains normal. Therefore, as required by state law, staff is recommending that the City Council adopt resolution number 2020-48 to first ratify the city manager's local emergency declaration. It is also being recommended that you adopt resolution number 2020-49, terminating the local emergency proclamation. Finally, I do want to clarify something. I have received several calls from people who expressed concerns that the wording on the proclamation of local emergency made it seem like the peaceful protest by Black Lives Matter was the reason for the proclamation of local emergency and the imposition of the curfew. I do want to make it abundantly clear that the peaceful protest was not the reason for either of these two actions that were taken by the city manager. These actions were taken as a result of the incidents that happened after the protest. With that, I will conclude my presentation and take any questions from the City Council. I do want to note that these items I worked closely with Deputy City Attorney Colin Barnes, as well as Lieutenant Elia, who is our police chief, And with that, we can take any questions from the city council.
Anybody have any comments or questions? Look like we have none. We need a motion.
We have no speaker cards.
Oh, okay.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Well,
We'll
I'll read
vote.
it out. I'll make the motion to adopt Resolution 2020-48, ratifying the Director of Emergency Services proclamation of a local emergency on June 30th, 2020, and adopt Resolution 2020-49, terminating the local emergency proclaimed June 30th, 2020.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Councilmember Grummeyer? Yes. Councilmember Hoffman? Yes. Councilmember Newton? Mayor Pro Tem Bash?
Yes.
Mayor Hanna?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous.
Okay, item B is approval of a cooperation agreement between the City of Norco and the County of Riverside for participation in the County of Riverside's Urban County Program for federal fiscal years 2022 through 2024. July 1st, 2021, June 30th, 2024. Deputy City Manager.
Thank you, Council. Before you tonight is a resolution approving a cooperative agreement between the City of Norco and the County of Riverside's Urban County Program for federal fiscal years 2022-2024. This resolution allows us to participate in the Community Development Block Grant Fund that is sponsored through HUD, the Housing and Urban Development. This is a process we do every few years for renewing of our contract. The county had submitted this to us. We just received the notification, so the reason it's on your agenda tonight is that we have to act on it before July 10th. So the point for here is for us to participate in the CDBG program, we have to adopt this resolution, and that allows us to continue to participate in the program from 2020 through 2024. So with that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions or comments? Ted?
Yeah, Brian, is this a continuation of our regular CGB? Those are the improvements we normally make, we normally make for the restrooms up at the parks and things like that?
Yes, there are certain criteria under the CDBG guidelines in which we can use these funds, and that is correct. These are some of the projects that we do on the capital side that meet those requirements. We also fund a part-time employee at the senior center through this fund as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Robin?
Brian, can I get a little bit of clarity on the timeline, and if the county sent these out late, why they would still require a July 10th deadline, and how that would have fit if we didn't have a special meeting?
You know, and I really don't know the whole background. Maybe Dana might have more information.
What it sounded like from when I called them about this, why we were getting it so late, and the problem, it sounded like it was getting confused with something that was already sent earlier in the year, and most cities thought, okay, we've already taken care of this. So when they sent these reminders out, they got quite a few responses of, we're trying our best to get through and get this done by the 10th. A phone call was made yesterday by Robin Shepard, and we asked, due to issues that we have had, the COVID, the closed meetings, is there any way we can get an extension? And they said it wouldn't be a problem as long as it was ratified before the 10th. So we can still get all of our documents in until July 24th. But we
Okay.
did have to make a decision before the 10th.
Okay.
But they are giving us time to get the paperwork in.
And
All right, thank you.
Going alongside what Dana said, we had sent a letter had come to us earlier in the year in which we signed that, yes, we're going to continue to participate. Bearing on that, we all thought in the county that, and then all of a sudden this letter comes that now we have to ratify it with council minutes and a resolution. So I think we're all scrambling countywide related to this.
Anybody else? Any cards, speaker cards?
We have no speaker cards on this item.
Okay, well, have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Councilmember Grummeyer? Yes. Councilmember Hoffman? Yes. Councilmember Newton? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Bash? Yes. Mayor Hanna?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes all of our business. Anybody got any comments or statements they want to make before we adjourn? Okay, looks like everybody's happy, so we will adjourn. Thank you.